One of the most anxiety-provoking times in parenting is when your teen begins driving. We both know this from experience.
Absolutely.
As consumer reporter Chris Olson reports, there is actually good reason for the apprehension, as 1 out of every 5 new drivers in BC will be involved in a crash within the first 2 years of driving.
If you're concerned about how responsible your teen is behind the wheel, you may want to check out a device that monitors driving behavior. That's the topic of tonight's Olson on Your Side.
Car crashes are the #1 killer of teens, and teens are more susceptible to peer pressure than older drivers. It's a bad combination. Often as parents, we only find out about our teens' bad driving after it's too late.
We talked about driving in the city and driving out in the country here.
Driver education classes are designed to make teenagers safer drivers.
You know what that stands for?
Driving while intoxicated.
Driving while intoxicated.
Consumer Report says now parents can buy devices to track how their teens are driving once they get behind the wheel. They work like the black boxes used in airplanes, but in this case, instead of analyzing accidents, they're supposed to prevent them. Here's how the devices work.
If the driver exceeds a preset speed limit or accelerates too hard or brakes too hard, it sounds an alarm to let them know.
The safety devices also keep a record that can be downloaded to a home computer so parents can review their teens' driving habits.
This shows that my maximum speed was 78 miles per hour.
Consumer Reports tested 2 devices, CarChip EX for around $200 US and Road Safety RS1000 for around $300. At the auto track, testers drove erratically to see if the devices would accurately read how the car was being driven and whether the alarm sounded. Both worked well. Of the 2, Consumer Reports says the Road Safety RS1000 is a better choice because its software is easier to use and it can measure cornering forces as well as speed and braking. There's also a BC-made device that goes even further, called LockDown. It can give parents real-time information about their child's driving. First, you can set an area in which they're allowed to drive and speed limits.
They can set a speed threshold on it, so if your child is learning how to drive and you don't want them to go more than 90 or 100 kilometers an hour down highway number 1, if it goes more than 5 kilometers an hour over that limit for 7 seconds, it will send an alarm either to your laptop computer or to your cell phone.
The LockDown system can disable the car, too.
Not shut it off in mid-flight, but there's actually a starter interrupt put in the starter motor that once the car is stopped and the key's been turned off, it prevents them from going and restarting it again.
LockDown is more expensive, $895 installed plus a $20 a month monitoring fee. But it does have the advantage of allowing parents to take action immediately when they get the alert.
And I think this allows a child to take that whole equation of, you know, what are my friends going to think of me out of it? Because all they got to do is say, you know what, I want to use the car next week, and if I do that, they know.
Driving monitors do raise privacy questions, but as long as the data is kept private and used only by the family and not by an insurance company, for example, then anything that might encourage safer driving is worth considering. Until next time, I'm Chris Olson on Your Side.